Hello, hi, and howdy. Welcome on in. I'm Rocklovin GNS, and welcome to episode 5 of Vintage Story. Today's story is going to be a fairly relaxed one. I'm going to start off by getting some more copper, and you'll see why I want this copper in just a little bit. But because of why I want this copper, ends up being part of the reason why it ends up being a really relaxed episode this time around. I happen to remember that when I built this box out for my charcoal, that there happened to be a nice deposit of copper ore right here, which made it pretty nice to just be able to go get some more. I hope you're having a good morning, good day, or good evening, wherever you are. And yeah, as you can see, there's actually a pretty fair amount of copper just right here for me, which ends up really being beneficial. So, I'll just clean this all up and replace everything. Grab the last little bits of copper here. As you see, I've got I get like 20 chunks out of it, which is pretty nice. Once you use the hammer, you get all the bits and everything. It works out fairly well. So I'll get this all closed back up. Now, I haven't decided if I'm going to just keep this rock or if I'm going to do give it a full dirt bottom. But this is why I wanted the copper. All that extra copper I got mixed with the copper I had, I can finally make an anvil. And the anvil, of course, is going to lead me to bigger and better things. Finally being able to handcraft, utilizing my completely awesome and uber smithing skills. But since I knew that was going to take a while to cool down, especially since I didn't board outside, which I think that makes a difference. I'm not quite sure. Be sure you can let me know in the comments if it does. I mean, I've seen people do it both ways, and I'm not sure if there's any real difference when you're pouring molds like that. But because I had that time, I decided to go out and explore the couple ruins that were around me. So I do have the ruins behind my house, but I had already hit those up, and these ruins happen to be a little further south. And what I found interesting about them was the fact that they were partly in the water, which is, it makes it so I'm not sure if I should try digging it up to try and find more things in it. But I did at least get some flax grain and some rice, so other things to add to for cooking later on. But this ruins was interesting because, again, the thing is, I'm not totally familiar with how to really explore ruins yet. As I'm finding them, I'm seeing what I can get away with. But because I don't know how to fully explore them the way they're meant to be explored, I don't know what I'm missing or what I'm, that kind of thing. So I'm kind of just mostly meandering about them and just seeing what I can find. And I at least realize I'm about to go into the water and put my torch away before I really go exploring here. And I'm glad I did, because it didn't take long at all for me to end up dipping in the water, which would have extinguish my torch yet again. But I did get a good amount of more bony soil. And I really want the bony soil because I want candles. Now that I have an anvil, I'll be able to make the plates, the copper plate. I've already got a couple pieces of clear quartz, so the only thing I need, because I don't have bees and beeswax yet, is an already made candle, so I can actually make my first lantern. It's something to look forward to, and I really do look forward to making my first lantern. It's one thing that's nice about now, now that I've got an anvil cooling is... And tipping underwater just then also leads me to something that I really appreciate about this game. Is there are so many little details that you may or may not catch or pay attention to. For instance, when I was mining the copper earlier, there were sparks coming off when I would hit the rock with my metal pickaxe. So occasionally I get sparks off of the rock. When I was underwater just a moment ago and I was digging while underwater, the volume sounded of the action actually sounded muffled, as though I was underwater. And little details like that have gotten into this game help me appreciate it a lot more. Grabbing this path here, I know I can make stone path. I don't remember the recipe off the top of my head, but I'll look it up again eventually. But it's just a couple pieces. It means I don't have to create myself. And here I'll just grab some more flax. So this area, it's nice, but not really much going on. So I decided to head a little bit more further south, and I was happy to find that I could actually get some medium fertility soil, which is just what I'm going to use to do farm stuff with. And I'll do farm stuff when I have a bucket, and I'll have a bucket when I have a saw, and I'll have a saw soon because I now have an anvil. So it's been a whole, a lot of things were really working towards me getting that anvil. And here, just getting some spelt seeds, and these are the first seeds I actually found in the wild. All the other seeds I've got stashed back at the house are from breaking vessels, which, though disappointingly, I only got the seeds off of the one, which, what are you going to do? So, of course, whenever I'm out now, I'm always collecting the berries, the berry bushes, and eventually I'm going to have berries for days, which I look forward to, especially once I get a fruit press and that kind of thing. Another good night's sleep. You can tell by the by the lighting out that I spent a lot of time out, at least. So come day 11, again, now my anvil's all nice and cool, and I can finally pick it up. And you've got to admit, our characters have some mean strength, because I was able to lift that thing and set it down without any effort. I did decide to take some time, though, during the day to do some of the bony soil. And I didn't, I never expect much out of the soil, but I did manage to find something that I found a little bit more unique. a lore book. The lore about Jonas. So I thought that was pretty cool. And as I was almost done, I finally got a candle. So now I actually can look forward to being able to make that that lantern and not having to worry about going into water and extinguishing my light source. Bong. I wasn't expecting the bong when I put that down. The confession. I'd led these people here down to these hellish depths, gave them up darkness and starvation like lambs to the altar, and for what? This monstrous creation. I fear to recognize it as my child. The common people look upon it as though it were salvation, as though it were God Himself, and they see me as the Messiah. I walk amongst their halls and shelters, and I shudder at what remains of humanity. They dwell in filth and hunger. Civil service has collapsed under the long, unbearable weight of the endeavor. These men and women have no means of rubbish disposal. Many of them have already been stricken by rot. If any other soul should wander through their dwellings, they would tear them apart from the ligaments in search of food. And yet, they by some power withstand their hunger. When they gaze upon me, they weep for joy and offer the meager supplies that they have. Yeah, I look forward to getting more into the lore, into this game. It seems to have pretty dark history. So the next thing I decide I'm going to do is I'm going to do something I should have done a while ago, and that's I'm going to make myself look smashing with an absolutely epic looking straw hat. Because why should anyone go through life without having a very dapper straw hat? But that was part of what I had set out to do. In reality, I was going around and I went around the entire lake area in order to get the cattail roots. Of course, I would not only drop a cattail in the water, but I would extinguish my torch. So now I have to get that lit again. Again, something I look forward to by having a lantern. So let's get this lit back up. Backlit? Something like that. Grab it and then, go ahead and douse it again while trying to place the first root into the water. Alright, I get it. If you dip into the water, you're going to put the torch out. That's fine. I'll just leave it sitting on the land until I need to pick it back up. But anyway, so what I did again was I went around the whole lake just so I could collect the roots and place them in this little water area that's right next to the house. So now I essentially have a cattail farm. And I don't have to worry about where I'm going to get them. I don't have to go wandering for them. I could just come right here and, I'll get almost a stack of cattails every time. Which works for me. Now, what I don't understand is why my torch went out when I didn't put it. So I left it on land just then, but my torch went out. And I was not able to figure that part out. So, like I said, this was just kind of a really relaxed. I didn't get a lot done. I ended up just traveling about. Didn't get to see a lot exciting kind of episode. But that'll lead me into the next episode where I have an anvil now. Which means I'm going to be able to start making copper tools. Which is going to be something I've been looking forward to for a while. So now, of course, let's just put everything away, finish off for the day. The first copper tool I plan to make is definitely a saw, because I want to be able to make planks. But yeah, I guess that'll be it for now. I still look so dapper with that hat. But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a good morning, good day, good evening, whatever the case may be for you. I really hope it's a good one. And if you like the video, drop a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more videos, especially in this series that I plan to continue. And until next time, take care and bye-bye.